How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. With the 2010s decade coming to an end, there's been a lot of former busts who have not lived up to expectations. There's also been a lot of underachieving players throughout every NBA draft. With that said, let's take a look at the worst draft picks from every team this decade. Starting in alphabetical order with the Atlanta Hawks selecting John Jenkins, 23rd overall in the 2012 draft. After 3 solid years at Vanderbilt, he was one of the best scorers in college basketball, but struggled in the NBA. Played 6 total seasons, was out of the league after 2019, averaged 5 points for his career, played for 5 different teams. Draymond Green, Chris Middleton, and Will Barton were amongst the players picked after him. The Boston Celtics Fab Melo, the 22nd pick in the 2012 draft, picked right behind Jared Sullinger. Melo only played a total of 6 NBA games. The C's could have had Draymond, Middleton, or Barton instead. After struggling in the league, he returned to play in South America before his unfortunate passing at just 26 years old on February 11, 2017. The Brooklyn Nets, Chris McCullough, one and done out of Syracuse. The Bronx native was selected 29th overall in the 2015 draft. Lasted only 3 seasons in the NBA, averaged only 3.3 points in 9 minutes played. Montrezl Harrell was selected 32nd overall. Rashad Holmes or Josh Richardson would have also been solid instead of McCullough. Bouncing around in and out the G League a million times, Detroit finally waived him October 2018. The Charlotte Hornets, too many busts to count. I'm going with Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, likely on his way out the league after 2020. The 6'6" forward never developed the jumper, averaged under 9 points for his career, now left out the rotation, picked just behind his college teammate Anthony Davis. Charlotte could have drafted Bradley Beal, who was third behind Kidd-Gilchrist, or Damian Lillard. Not to mention, the franchise selected Cody Zeller the following year, Noah Vonleh in 2014. Malik Monk also doesn't seem like he will be a star player anytime soon either. The Chicago Bulls, Marquis Teague in the 2012 draft was picked 29th overall out of Kentucky. Lasted 3 total seasons, putting up 2.4 points in 91 total games. The younger brother of Jeff Teague, Jay Crowder, and even Thomas Satoransky were way better options, let alone Teague being selected ahead of Draymond and Chris Middleton. The Cleveland Cavaliers, without question, by far the absolute worst #1 pick of the decade, Anthony Bennett, being selected 1st overall was an absolute disgrace of a travesty. The 6'8" power forward was out the league by age 23, had pathetic averages of 4.4 points on 39% shooting in 151 career games. Thankfully, the Cavs were able to get rid of him, being part of the Kevin Love trade. Bennett also spent time with Minnesota, Toronto, and Brooklyn. I can't remember any highlights from Bennett's career, only lowlights of him airballing threes and missing layups. He was also selected ahead of Victor Oladipo, CJ McCollum, and Giannis. Bennett probably shouldn't even have been drafted in the first place, given how terrible he was. The Dallas Mavericks, Justin Anderson was picked 21st overall in the 2015 draft out of the University of Virginia. The 26-year-old hasn't been picked up after being waived by the Wizards. Averaged just 5.3 points in 216 games for his career as of right now. Was traded to Philly in that Nerlens Noel deal in 2017. The 2 players picked after him were Bobby Portis and Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. The Denver Nuggets selecting Emmanuel Mudiay 7th overall in the 2015 draft clearly has not lived up to his expectations. Nothing more than just a role player now with the Jazz. Still 23 years old, he was traded to the Knicks in his 3rd season. Just imagine if Denver selected Myles Turner or Devin Booker instead. The Detroit Pistons, Stanley Johnson, who you can officially say is a bust, selected 8th overall in the 2015 draft. Now with the Raptors, the 6'6" small forward was only relevant when he talked smack to LeBron, ended up getting swept in the 1st round of the playoffs as a rookie, has averages of 6.9 points on 37% shooting, was part of a 3-team trade in February 2019. Guys like Myles Turner, Kelly Oubre, or Devin Booker could have been solid for Detroit if they selected any of them instead. The Golden State Warriors, even the franchise of the decade, was not perfect. Selecting Ekpe Udoh in 2010 was the 6th pick out of Baylor, a huge bust who many forget only lasted a season and a half with the Warriors, having career averages of 3.5 points, 2.9 rebounds, was part of the Monte Ellis trade that sent him to the Bucks for Andrew Bogut and Steven Jackson. Udoh was also selected ahead of Gordon Hayward and Paul George. The Houston Rockets selecting Sam Dekker 18 overall in the 2015 draft, played 3 seasons at the University of Wisconsin, struggled to live up to expectations in the NBA, picked ahead of Bobby Portis and Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. Dekker was part of the Chris Paul trade, barely played for the Clippers, last played for the Wizards in 2019. The Indiana Pacers selecting Solomon Hill 23rd overall in 2013, struggled to get minutes, playing the same position as Paul George, averaged just 6 points at Indy. Tim Hardaway Jr. was selected right after him, and Rudy Gobert was 27th that year. Now Hill's playing limited minutes for the Memphis Grizzlies in 2020. The Los Angeles Clippers selecting CJ Wilcox, the 28th pick in the 2014 draft, the second all-time leading scorer at the University of Wisconsin, lasted just 3 seasons in the NBA, 2 seasons with the Clippers, 1 with Orlando, averaged 2 points a game in 66 total games. Joe Harris, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Nikola Jokic were picked after him. The Los Angeles Lakers, the team didn't have a first-round pick till 2014 this decade. I'll go with Anthony Brown, picked 34th overall in the 2015 draft, also of course out the league by now, averaged 3.9 points in 41 career games. They could have picked Rashad Holmes or Josh Richardson instead. Brown's also by far the most forgotten Laker pick of the decade. I'm sure many diehard Laker fans have already forgotten about him. The Memphis Grizzlies, I'm going with Xavier Henry, who was the 12th pick in the 2010 draft. It's close between him and Wade Baldwin, but Henry lasted 5 seasons in the league, averaged just under 5 a game for Memphis, 5.7 points for his career, made a little over $7.5 million, was picked over Eric Bledsoe and Avery Bradley. The Miami Heat, who didn't have many first-round picks this decade, but Justice Winslow, as of right now, selected 10th overall in the 2015 draft, has not lived up to his expectation. Miami's winning a lot without him this season due to injury so far. Myles Turner was the 11th pick, Devin Booker 13. Winslow can play D and make plays, but still very shaky at times and not a very good shooter. Miami also gave him $39 million for a 3-year rookie scale extension. The Milwaukee Bucks, who had plenty of bad picks this decade, including Rashad Vaughn and Don Maker, but I'm going with Jabari Parker, selected 2nd overall in the 2014 class, trying to prove his worth with the Hawks right now. The next pick, Philly selected Joel Embiid, who would have been an insane front line with Giannis. Looking back, Giannis is everything Parker was supposed to be, but tore his ACL twice, averaged over 15 points in his first 4 seasons with the Bucks, but was terrible on defense, wasn't a game changer at all. The Bucks simply let him walk away for nothing in 2018 free agency, and the team got way better after he was gone. The Minnesota Timberwolves, aside from Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio, that was in 2009, so it wasn't quite the 2010s decade yet, but they selected Derek Williams 2nd overall in the 2011 draft out of the University of Arizona, struggled to live up to the hype, no longer in the league, still 28 years old right now, has averages of 8.9 points on 43% shooting, was traded to the Kings for Lupa Amute in November 2013, played for 6 total teams, not to mention Wesley Johnson was a huge bust as well. The New Orleans Pelicans, having 2 first-rounders in 2012, Anthony Davis was sensational, but Austin Rivers was selected 10th, worked very hard on his game to becoming a very solid role player right now for the Houston Rockets, but only averaged 6.9 points on 39% shooting in 2.5 seasons before being traded. New Orleans would have been better off with Jeremy Lamb, who was the 12th pick, or Evan Fournier, the 20th pick in 2012. The New York Knicks, so far, is Frank Ntilikina, the 8th pick in the 2017 draft. The 6'4" point guard has not lived up to his expectations. Still 21 years old, solid on defense, but still very inconsistent and not confident enough offensively, shooting 36% for his career so far. He was picked ahead of Donovan Mitchell and Bam Adebayo. Ntilikina was the unknown prospect out of that draft, but if he does pan out to become a solid player for New York, I'll go with Iman Shumpert, who was picked above Jimmy Butler, even though he was solid as a rookie before his knee injury. The Oklahoma City Thunder, lottery pick Cameron Payne was selected 14 overall in 2015 out of Murray State, no longer in the league, played a season and a half with OKC, most notable for his classic handshakes with Russell Westbrook, having career averages of 6 points on under 40% shooting. Kelly Oubre and Terry Rozier were the 2 guys drafted right after him. The Orlando Magic, selecting bust Mario Hezonja 5th overall in the 2015 draft, provided little to nothing for Orlando, just played 3 seasons with the team, averaged 6.9 points on under 42% shooting in 219 games with the franchise. Now a below average role player in Portland, The Philadelphia 76ers drafted way too many busts. I'm going with Evan Turner, selected second overall in 2010 over the likes of DeMarcus Cousins, Gordon Hayward, and Paul George. Philly traded him in 2014 to Indy for basically nothing, a complete waste. Even though Jahlil Okafor and Markelle Fultz were the wrong picks for the Sixers, Okafor is a below average role player, but Fultz is looking like he'll be solid now with Orlando. Turner, in my opinion, was more disappointing than Okafor. The Phoenix Suns, a dysfunctional and joke of a franchise throughout the decade. Dragan Bennett was the biggest bust they selected. Picked 4th overall, averaged a pathetic 5.3 points on 39% shooting in 3 seasons with the team. The 7-footer wasn't very skilled or confident, even though Alex Len was a bad choice, picked 5th in 2013, and Josh Jackson, another disaster, picked 4th in 2017. The franchise should be fortunate enough to have drafted Devin Booker at 13. If DeAndre Ayton don't turn out to become a future All-Star, the team will also fully regret passing up on Luka Doncic. The Portland Trail Blazers selected Nolan Smith out of Duke, 21st overall in 2011, lasted 2 seasons in the NBA, 84 total games, a 3.3 point average. The 3 guys after him were Kenneth Faried, Nikola Mirotic, and Reggie Jackson. Also, the 30th pick was Jimmy Butler that year. Imagine a duel with Dame, CJ, and Jimmy. The Sacramento Kings, Thomas Robinson, out the league by age 26, the 6'10" power forward out of Kansas, was traded to the Rockets before his rookie season was over. The 2 guys selected after him were Damian Lillard and Harrison Barnes. Not to mention, the franchise also drafted Ben McLemore and Nick Stauskas in 2013 and 2014. The San Antonio Spurs, taking James Anderson 20th in the 2010 draft, averaged 5.8 points for his career, lasted 5 seasons in the NBA. His best season was with the tanking Sixers in 2014, where he averaged 10.1 points. Last played in 2016, San Antonio could have used Jordan Crawford or Lance Stevenson. The Toronto Raptors, taking Bruno Caballo, 20th overall in the 2014 draft, shockingly still in the league, playing for the Memphis Grizzlies in 2020. He was assigned to the G League a million times. Clint Capella was 5 picks after him. The Utah Jazz, selecting Dante Exum 5th overall in the 2014 draft, still never fully able to stay healthy. Now 24 years old, the team had enough. Traded him to the Cavs alongside 2 second-rounders for Jordan Clarkson. Utah could have picked Marcus Smart or Gary Harris instead. The Washington Wizards, Jan Vesely, a huge bust, selected 6th in the 2011 draft, averaged 3.6 points, 3.5 rebounds in 162 total games, picked ahead of Kemba, Clay, and Kawhi. The 6'11" power forward was out the league by age 23. At least he's having success overseas, named EuroLeague MVP in 2019. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll be announcing a potential giveaway on my next video. Since nobody dropped 50 on Christmas Day 2019, stay tuned. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, and anything basketball that will interest you. If you love the NBA, subscribe for more content, more great stuff coming soon. I love all of you. Happy holidays. See you next time.